Hey everyone, Ryan and Tom here. This week at SecureIt, we're starting a series on the SecureIt difference. What is it that makes us so different and unique from everyone else?
You know, when you look at that question, the answer is quite simple, and it's why. It's why do we do what we do? SecureIt is a defense contractor. Our core business is cabinets like this. This is our Model 52 weapon rack. We design our system to do one thing, to properly store weapons in a manner that they're organized, securely stored, and they're in a ready-to-fire condition. Now, the military, when you look at, if you look at guns, firearms, weapons, the military, they're the pros. These are the guys whose lives depend on their weapons working and performing properly. They train a lot, they work a lot, and they use these things a lot. They use our system for one reason. It properly stores and organizes all their weapons in a manner so the weapon performs identical to when you placed it in the cabinet. All weapons are stored in a manner where scopes are never banging into each other, guns aren't hitting each other. You know, when a sniper goes into combat, his rifle has to perform. He's got one shot, he's got to make it. They use our system because it guarantees that that rifle is going to perform properly when they take it out to use in combat.
So yeah, it's a very effective solution to store weapons. And there's nothing else like it in the retail space, and that's why we brought the technology to the general consumer.
Yeah, it really was out of frustration. We've been in the defense business since about 2001. We are the largest supplier to the U.S. military for weapons storage. We also build armories for foreign governments all over the world. And we went into the consumer market just out of frustration for what's there. Gun safes have not changed in 50 years, and they're designed to do one thing. They're designed to look good in a showroom so that you will buy it. When you really, let me get a piece of this. This is the inside of a gun safe, but this is the basic safe interior. Now, the real high-end safes will have this lined with leather. This happens to be with a felt material. This is how they say you pack in guns. It goes in a safe, and all the little barrels line in here. This is designed to hold, 16 guns. That footprint's going to hold about 7. It'll never hold the capacity. It's designed to fit a tiny little barrel. If you've got anything with a long rail on it, it's never going to fit in here. This system, the gun was never considered. You know, it just wasn't. They designed a system saying, how many W's can we fit? 36? Great, it holds 36 guns. Actually, it holds what? 12? We've done some tests on gun safe capacity.
Yeah, I was going to say, feel free to go to someone else's website and count how many guns they show in a safe. It's not going to be near the amount they say it will hold.
No, it really is a joke. And it was out of that frustration that we brought this system to the consumer, to give you guys the same capabilities as the pros, as the military. If you're serious about firearms and you've invested a chunk of money into them because they're not inexpensive, optics are not inexpensive, you should store them in the same way the pros do, because there's a reason they can use anything they want to store their guns. Navy SEALs, U.S. Army Special Forces, and MARSOC, the Marine Special Forces, all use our system for one reason only. It absolutely works. So
basically, you developed CradleGrid for the military. That's the system we're talking about. Now, what are the advantages to the consumer when using CradleGrid?
CradleGrid is the saddle systems, upper and lower saddle, and the grid is the back of the cabinet. The saddles are fully adjustable vertically up and down. It allows you to store the rifle at the best point. And what I want to get at with that is, depending on where you position the saddle, allows you to do things storage-wise within the cabinet. In this case, I've got the saddles down low, and I've got gear stored behind the rifles. You know, I always say, respect for a firearm doesn't end when you close the door. Our system is designed. This holds 6 guns, and boom, it holds 6 guns. Now, we were at the SHOT Show this last year, and it was fascinating. We didn't realize it. We had a pretty good-sized booth. All of our cabinets, everything we had there was maxed out with guns. It looked really good. You walk to all the safe booths, every single safe was empty. They had to be empty, or else they'd be busted on the fact that their Big Fat Boy Jr. holds 36 guns, when in fact it only holds about between 18 and 22 guns if you're lucky, if they're fully stripped down. So we give you honest capacity. Also, CradleGrid, what it gives you is what we call straight line access. One arm, one gun. You never dig through a safe You're never digging through a cabinet, laying guns on the floor to get to the one you need. It's one arm, one gun. In the military, when they're issuing weapons, armor, 2 hands, 2 guns, they're moving pretty quick. They don't have time to dig through stuff. And if you're digging through a safe, chances are you're going to be causing wear or damage to firearms. Our system is designed so that rifles go in, straight line access, one arm, one gun. You can have scopes on the inside, scopes out, depending on your preference, depending on sometimes capacity. This scope is very large. I put it out just because it was easier to fit. But you have the option to do it either way. Organizational awareness. Military loves this. Organizational awareness is you can glance at a cabinet, they can glance at a rack, and they know if something's missing. It's very easy to see everything in your safe.
Yeah, and so what that also did, the visual awareness, the straight line access, it created a very small footprint. And so now we have a cabinet that has a lot smaller footprint than a competitor. You can hide this cabinet in a closet. You can put it in a space where no one would really think to find it. And that's an important part of security. Is in the consumer world, security is all about a big, heavy safe. In our world, hide it away, keep it obscure, don't announce that you have your firearms everywhere. Keep it hidden and protect it in a cabinet like this. And then when you need it, you open the door and you have everything you need, one arm, get it real quick.
I always find it almost humorous, fascinating. The safe industry, if you look at the advertising, they show these big safes with this fancy Old West painting, and they're talking about not security, they're talking about heritage, about heirloom, about investment. And they show this big safe next to this River Rock fireplace on a pool table as a showpiece. That is absolutely insane. If you're buying something for security, a safe for security, you don't put it in the middle of your room saying, hey everybody, here's my safe. You put it in a discreet location. The number one piece for security is secrecy. If people don't know you have it, it's a heck of a lot more secure than if you're laying this thing out. Everything we design is designed so that you can put it into a closet, you can put it into a hidden or safer area that's out of sight. It's all shallower. Gun safes are very, very deep. They're deep because you have to offset the weight of their door. Now, we're going to get into that whole weight issue in a future episode. Our products are designed a lot shallower. They're one row of guns, and that allows you to fit them in closets, allows you to fit them in discrete locations. On our website, there is an article about places in your home to store firearms to turn your home into a defendable fortress. We design systems that allow you to do that, and that's part of that, the concept of, pro gear, or it's what the military uses. Military products are designed to be ready to roll quickly. When a reaction force has to move, they want those guns deployed, issued in minutes. They use this system because it gives you that fast capability. And all of our products do allow for a certain level of fast access. So in the event of a crisis, you can get to a firearm very, very quickly.
All right, so back to the design. There's a lot of stuff in here, and it's not something you'd see in a lot of other gun safes. So what's going on?
Part of when we developed our system, I'm going to pull this out. We designed this system originally, it was for a contract we had with U.S. Army Special Forces to solve armory problems. We spent almost a year working with them, surveying all of their armories. We traveled all over the country, and then we sat down to develop a system. Part of what we wanted was modularity. The idea of using simple products to solve problems. If you've got a junk drawer in your kitchen, tool-wise, what do you have in there? Hammer, pair of pliers, maybe some duct tape and a zip tie, a screwdriver. You have the simplest tools because with those you can solve the most problems. We want to do the same thing. So we went into our presentation at Fort Bragg to command with our system, and we came in with these bins. And we really didn't know if they were going to say, are you kidding me? Because this is really dirt simple. This is an M9 storage solution. It works great for M9s plus an armor. If you got a gun disassembled, you can keep the frame in one side, parts in another. It's locked and secured. You pick it up, take it to a bench with all the parts. You can bring it back. They absolutely love the system, and they loved it for that reason. It's completely modular. We brought that system into the consumer, and it just gives you the ability to organize gear. Now, in this case, we've got a mix of optics. I've got some gun parts, ammunition. At my home, when I store firearms, some of the things I do with the bins is if I've got a few really odd caliber vintage guns, a couple odd caliber ARs that I've built, I store the cleaning products and the ammunition. I don't keep that much right with those guns because it's easier. If I've got any state of disassemble or work I'm doing on a gun, I drop a couple of bins in behind the gun and those parts are there.
So there's a lot of flexibility here. And even just in the cabinet options, this is the Model 52, 6 guns, a decent amount of storage. This is the Answer 12. Now this thing is fully decked out. We've got ammo in the bottom, comes standard with a full-length shelf. We've raised all the firearms up. We've got gear, magazines, more ammo. It looks really cool and it works. And again, you get that visual inventory, straight line access, and you get to store all your stuff with your guns.
Now, I just want to point out, if you're considering the Answer cabinet, we've added, this is an accessory. Normally the shelf would be used in the upper position, guns on the bottom. What we're showing here is the shelf can be used in the bottom to lift up and put ammo down there, and this is an accessory 6-capacity shelf, and we've got some bins added to it.
Okay, so we've got, to recap a little bit, we've got straight line access with Cradle Grid, visual inventorying, modularity. I mean, if you got guns, you're going to have gear. I've got a lot of ammo and just stuff. So it's a good way to store everything that you have.
It really is, and it's the question you have to ask yourself is, how serious are you about firearms? Because if you're somebody who pulls out guns once a year, and you clean it and you go duck hunting with it, it may not be that big of a deal. If you're an enthusiast, if you're really into this, you go to the range a lot, you shoot a lot, you hunt a lot, this system makes a lot of sense. It gives you a lot of advantages. Our main core point of difference is, why do we do what we do? And we do it so that the warfighter can get in and out of combat safely with a weapon that will perform perfectly. We've taken that gear, that concept, and brought it into products so the consumer, so avid sport shooters, hunters, enthusiasts have that same ability to use pro gear and really to do things right. And there's a reason that you do things this way, because respect does not end when you close the door, and these rifles will perform perfectly every time you take them from the cabinet. Guys, this is the first in what's going to be a series of videos detailing our differences, comparing us to the industry and why we do what we do. Now, if you have friends who are enthusiasts, you know people are frustrated with storage, please share this video. This is information that we want to get out. The guns of America deserve better than what the safe industry is serving up.
All right, so that's all we have for you this week. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.